Rocking air, all the red lights are on. Oh, start the room on Clubhouse.
There we go. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Welcome this Monday afternoon if you're tuning in live, and if you're not, well, welcome to whatever day it is.
One moment, technical issue. There's a problem with the link on LinkedIn. Oh,
So
gosh. You keep talking.
today we're going to talk about sales, and I want to say that it's probably one of the most underestimated parts of business ownership, because often people are jumping into their business, and what takes them to that is their skill, whatever they've got, whether they're a builder, a barista, a restaurateur, a barbershop owner. So they're going. No, we've got to get that going as well.
Technical issue. Sorry, this one's going fine, but
There we go.
LinkedIn is giving me a problem.
So, they're going into this business. You might be going into your business going, well, I'm going to be great at this business because I've got all this experience that's led me to this over time, that's given me some really good grounding in whatever your particular field is. However, once you get in there, you've still got to build your database. You've got to find your customers. You've got to be able to close the sale, because often many business owners say, well, I can't make any money out of this. I'm not profitable out of it, because they haven't actually honed their selling skills to understand. It looks like we're not going on whichever platform.
We'll get it to LinkedIn a different way. That's cool.
Where's Grace? We need you, Grace. A lot of this all comes down to selling. Like, hey, I haven't got enough customers, or I have got customers and I'm not making enough money. It's all back down to the sales skills that you got, whether you've got any or none. That are actually building up. I guess ultimately the success of your business. Yeah.
And look, the thing about that sales, what I know is, as soon as you have a connection to the product and you know the impact that it has on your customers, that develops a passion for the product and for the service that you're offering. So, if anything, I encourage you to tap into that, because we've all been in sales since we were knee-high to a grasshopper, if you really think about it, by rights, because, we've negotiated to get what we wanted with our parents. As parents, we negotiate with our children what we want them to do, with our pets, all those sort of things.
We negotiate with pets, with spouses,
all those things.
When we're, whether we're buying a car or something for the home or whatever, we're in this negotiation phase, which is a part of sales.
Yep.
But if you've got a business there and you're passionate about that business, you definitely need to connect into whatever it is, the product or the service that you've got there.
Yeah.
But also just understanding the process, understanding that you need to be aware of who the market is, what the market size is, and what the customer wants. Yeah. Understand the process of going out, finding the customer who have a need or a want for this particular, for your product or service, and then going through that process step by step. Is it a fast process? Is it a product or service the customer's not going to make it? They're not going to waste a lot of time making the decision. So normally that's in a high volume, low price point product, or is it something where there's a real nurture process where the customer can often take months or even years to make that decision. So understanding what that process is, and then what are the various points along the way that you can keep pushing or nurturing that customer along to where the point is that they sign on the dotted line, the deal is done, not just sitting back and waiting, the customer will come and see us when they're ready. Well, that doesn't happen, because when they're ready, they'll go to someone else who's obviously more interested in getting that business themselves. So then also, part of the sales process too is matching up the value of your product to what people are prepared to pay. What are you selling? What price point are you putting on your product versus what the market's prepared to pay, and what things can you do to increase the perceived value in that?
So there's a couple of things there in regards to the value. We'll go and look at your competitors. We often have spoken about this. Go and look at your competitors and what are they doing? add-ons, the value adds that they're doing that maybe you can implement yourself, or maybe you determine, oh, well, I've already got those value adds. But a really important piece that Nick spoke about there was, alluded to, was the journey. And it doesn't matter whether it's a really quick sale, as you suggested, or a long, extended process that you've got to nurture and build trust, relationship with the customer. You've really got to think about what is the journey that you want your customer to go through. I'm a big believer of putting the sticky notes up on the wall of every little action item or a step that customer needs to go through. And you've really got to be clear about it, even if it's a quick one or a long one. The long one, there's a lot more effort and consideration there, because maybe it's about the like, know, and trust piece. We all know that that's a really important piece about building relationships with customers, suppliers, etc. So you've really got to think deeply about what is every step that you want that person to go through, and how are you going to implement that. And that could be using some automation, some workflows, or what do you, working out what do you need to do to have those steps completed.
And also understanding, what's the cost to the customer for their delay in any decision making, like, whether that's a maintenance thing, whether it's a quality of life thing, it could be a health, whatever it is. What is the cost to the customer? Because really any decision making process is about really having the right information. When you've got the right information, and that information is telling you something, it becomes really easy to make a decision. When things become crystal clear, how clear are you communicating what it is that you do in your business? So because when you go through that clear communication, becomes the cost of delay, the opportunity cost to the client by not making that decision. How does it affect the other areas of their life? So these are the things that you can do to keep nurturing through that sales process, and clearly communicating and identifying what the upsides are, what the downsides are, what the alternatives there are, and making it easy for you like everybody else want to make a decision in an easy way. You don't want to be spending time deliberating, humming and ahhing. You want to go, I just want to get that decision off my plate.
Yes.
Your customer is just the same, so make it easy for them. Think about their journey and what information they are likely to need to make the decision. Now, you don't know that from day dot, but over time, refining that process, you've got to be the expert. So take your customers through that journey and adjust the information that you're providing, adjust the time at which you provide that information, maybe the way in which you provide that information, and keep moving it up, changing it up till you get to a pathway that works for you.
So what's a couple of things that come to mind on that comment there is, if you've got customers, pick up the phone and ask them, what was the journey like? Was there anything that we could improve? Like, there's always something that you can do to improve. But if you don't have customers, you've implemented the journey, go buy your own product. That's a really good way to quality check it. And ask colleagues, friends, mentors, whoever is in your circle of influence, and say, here's a coupon code, so you don't have to pay for it, but go through the journey for me and poke it to pieces. Because you want to be able to quality check it. You're never going to hit perfection. Perfection doesn't exist, so don't not launch or go live pending perfection. That just is a never-ending continuous improvement, as I would say. So put yourself through the journey, get some friends and colleagues, mentors, etc., to go through the journey, and then gather all the data and work out, well, where are there any barriers? What have I got to fix? Or what could I improve? Yeah,
it's really interesting, the perfection piece, because we see it all the time, and every day in all walks of our life is that these outlets or brands that actually aren't, the product or service isn't actually that particularly good. Maybe you've got to wait a long time. Maybe the quality of what you get's not that good, but yet they're all busy. And you sit there and you scratch your head and you think, why is that? And see, the thing is that often as business owners, particularly as owner operators, we spend too much time on just trying to get it perfect, rather than just, the things that really matter is making it easy and accessible to the customer, and making it easy as we go back, making it easy for them to make a decision. It's there when they want it, whether it's perfect or not. It just meets a need at that time.
Indeed.
Yeah. So, not getting too perfect. The other thing is the close. Really important. Really important.
Often avoided.
You go through, provide all the information, then you go away, make a decision. And but what follow-up have you got through that process? Going, the old saying, always be closing. Are you keeping in touch with that customer? Are you making them aware of any time or pressure points that are there? Anything that can speed up that decision making? Are you asking for the order? Look, I feel like we've provided all the information here. We know this meets your need. Is there anything right now that's stopping you from going ahead with this?
A simple question.
Whatever that
like
is.
that.
Now, again, if you're depending on your type of business, maybe this is appropriate. Maybe it's not. But particularly if you're going through a long-winded sales cycle, you absolutely want to try and make sure that you are answering all the questions, providing all the information, and understanding what it is standing between you getting the order and the customer making the decision. That's information you need to know. You need to know that for future deals going down the track, so you can build that into part of the process.
Yeah. And so, that's talking about the long process, but what about those things that people can buy on your website that's online? Well, how many of you have actually put in some automation that if you can see that people are going to a particular page, a shop, and they don't actually buy? Well, there's automation you can put into that to speak to the abandoned cart concept that you can then, let me help you. Do you need to make a phone call to talk to one of the business owners to actually get the deal over the line? What is the barrier? So there's a lot. Just because it's online doesn't mean that you can't
speed up the
process. Look, ads on social media, for goodness sake, make sure you have a call to action to buy, to register, take them somewhere to your shop. Might seem really obvious, but there are times that we've seen social media, what are clearly ads, but there's no call to action, or not clear call to action.
So with online fast-moving stuff, so some of the things that pop up only one item remaining. So the number of the stock remaining is one thing. That's if you're in a fast-moving, relatively low dollar value product, that's something that can spur people to buy more quickly. The other one that pops up often is 3 people looking at this product now.
Yes, have those little metrics coming up on the screen.
So, speaking directly to e-commerce here, which, a lot of our Navigate Biz viewers are in that space. So we've got that. We've got the abandoned carts or a pop-up even just saying, hey, first time you get a 5 or a 10% off. Or free freight is another one that comes up for your first order, free freight. So all of these things can really shorten that decision-making process.
Indeed, yeah. So I guess to wrap it up, the piece that sits around sales is, as I said before, like, know, and trust. But you need to really be clear about the impact that your product or service has. So know what the consequence is of your customer when they do buy. Know what that impact is, because you can speak to that and find more of those people. But also know what is the feeling that your customer has when they don't buy your product.
Yeah.
Because again, that's a different way of speaking about it. But just being really clear about the journey. Make sure there's no barriers. And hey, we check our journey constantly, because links break, things go wrong online, on sites and so on. So this is not something you do rarely. It's something you need, and it's simple, right? You just hop in
and the physical store. That's as simple as coming in with a fresh, customer's eyes, and how easy is it for me to find this place? How easy is it to park? So hey, get your pen and paper handy. Write these things down. These are really important. If you want to hone and improve your sales, one is define what the market opportunity is. How many people out there in your marketplace really need this product? And that's Google searching, that's using third-party points of reference, like all of these things going out and looking at what the market size and opportunity is. Then do the competitor research. where does your business sit against other similar businesses out there, and how much market share do you actually deserve? What things can you improve in your business to improve your market share? So then you can get a clear target. Make sure you have a target. Number one in sales, make sure you've got a target. What are you aiming for? How many sales an hour, a day, a week, a month, a quarter? How many sales are you looking for? And make sure that you're measuring that all the time. Check the customer journey. Constantly check the customer journey and improve the journey. Make it, less friction. Make it seamless for the customer to go and transact with you. And then make sure that you've got your closing technique down pat. That you're always following up. That you are, always rechecking. What can you do to make it simpler for the customer to make a decision? Is there anything else standing in the way from you making a decision to purchase this product today? Always be closing.
Yeah, indeed. And the last piece that I just want to end with is absolutely tap into why you started the business. What is the purpose of this business existing? Because if some of what you're talking about is difficult, you need that piece as a foundation, absolute foundational piece.
That's where the conviction comes from.
Absolute right? Conviction, commitment, all those things. If you don't have a fire in your belly after this post here, go back and really write it down. Why did you start this business?
Yeah, absolutely. And if you need more information on that, jump into navigatebiz.com, check out all our information, tools, templates, courses, platforms, so that you can do that. And if you are watching this on YouTube, as many do, please jump in and subscribe and press the little bell icon notifications so that you can get notified each time a new video comes up, so we can help you improve your business quicker. So have a great week, everybody, and we will, whatever platform you're on, we'll hope to see you on it again Thursday.
Yes.
Back in on Thursday.
Indeed. Have a good one.
Okay, catch you.